Hello, everyone. Coming at you with an unedited video today because I've been asked the same question 3 times by 3 different people in the last 2 days, and it seemed like fate was calling us to have me answer this question today. So, this answer is for Heather, for Judith, and for Megan, and anyone else out there who has been wondering the answer to this question. And that question is it okay to push through my symptoms when I'm doing an activity during my recovery? And there's so much nuance to this answer, but I want to set the record straight to begin with. And if you have a lot of health anxiety, you might want to just stop listening after this first 30 seconds because I'm really going to give you the summary of the whole answer right now. And that answer is if you have neural circuit dizziness, in other words, your body is healthy, and what we're dealing with now is an errant circuit in your brain that's making you dizzy. Your body is healthy, your body is whole, and movement and activities are not going to hurt you. They are going to help you. It is going to make it easier for your brain to adapt. Okay, so you don't need to worry about pushing through those activities. I'm going to give you some recommendations now for how I'd suggest you push through those activities, but ultimately, the whole purpose of recovery from chronic dizziness symptoms is to get back to doing the things that you love. So go do them. Okay, so with that in mind, I do think that there are some things that might help and also that might help you avoid some of the potential pitfalls. So obviously, some of you, especially before you started thinking about this like a neural circuit problem, you probably did try to push through the symptoms at first, and then that might have made them worse. So especially for those of you who have diagnoses like triple PD or vestibular migraine, you might have found, especially when you first got diagnosed, that just pushing through it actually made things a lot worse. So there's a difference between pushing through your symptoms mindfully, knowing what you're doing, and just pushing through and trying to ignore everything. Okay. So, in other words, there's a difference between pushing through, like I'm teaching my brain that things are safe, I'm getting back to my normal activities because my body is healthy and whole, versus I've just got to push through this because I don't have time for this. So one involves being kind and compassionate to yourself and caring towards your body, and the other one involves bulldozing through your needs and emotions and your body sensations. So when you're deciding whether to do a certain activity, the first thing I want you to do is, as I've said in previous videos, think psychologically for a few moments. Is there something about this activity specifically that might be bothering you? And sometimes it's because the activity is something that's provoked fear in the past. Maybe your brain has some kind of negative association with it. But a lot of times it's because there's some kind of emotional charge to the particular activity. And I've given some examples of these in previous videos. So an example might be, I get dizzy every time I come home at the end of the day. Well, what are you coming home to? Okay. Or I get dizzy every time I go out to a restaurant. Is that something that brings on anxiety about socializing? Or is it something where an area where you've had some issues in the past? So try to think psychologically first, see if there's some kind of emotional reason or emotional explanation for why you might have symptoms with that particular activity. But sometimes it's just going to be because your brain has an association that doesn't have anything to do with your emotional life at all. Like the example I've given in some videos is supermarkets. So many of you have trouble with supermarkets and grocery stores. I can guarantee it's not because you all had some kind of emotional trauma from supermarkets. It's because there's just a lot of vestibular stuff going on in supermarkets. So for those types of environments where you're confident, you've checked in, is there something bothering me about this environment, or is there something bothering me today? Did I have a hard conversation today? Did I think about something that was really bothering me today, or more importantly, did I avoid thinking about something that was bothering me today? Once you've done all that, at that point you say, okay, my job now is to prove to my brain that this activity is safe, and you can go do the activity knowing that you're doing the right thing for your brain. And if you want to add a little cherry on top, to really make this an educational activity for your brain, you can also use some physiological stress reduction techniques while you do the activity. So I've talked about these before. These can involve things like parasympathetic breathing. This can involve something like doing what I call the wet noodle, which is where you just kind of relax all your muscles at the same time. This can involve just mindfulness. So in other words, pausing and just giving yourself a little bit of space and saying, hey, I'm safe, I'm okay, and this is why I'm doing this activity, because I'm trying to show my brain that it's safe. So if you approach it that way, it will contribute tremendously to your healing, and it will, again, over and over again, prove to your body, A, that you're listening, hey, I did check in emotionally first, and B, that you are ready to take leadership and ownership of your life and show your brain that these things are safe again. So I hope that was helpful, and this helps you feel more confidence in getting back to some of the activities you love, because that is literally what this is all about, right? It's about getting you back to the life that you love. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Questions, comments, drop them below. Bye.